After a great deal of work, I wanted to show my Johnson Viking Invader 2000 how it's finally working. It's been a long struggle. One example is all these parts here. Every one of these parts is wrong. These are all the components I had to chase down and figure out what they were. 47K resistor reading 51, all kinds of stuff, just way off. 800K reading 2 megs, you know, just ridiculous. So I did a lot of work on it, tore it all apart, printed out a new label for the display so that the display can be read much more easily. The dial on these things go bad pretty easily. In any case, here's the power supply that I built for this thing. It's kind of a horse. And basically what it is it's a 0 to 4500 volt power supply. And it's got a lot of power. A lot of power. If I want to crank up the volume, all I got to do is turn this wheel and away we go. That'll go to 4000 volts here. Okay, let's see here. We'll turn this onto ready to transmit, and we'll go ahead and turn on the filaments for the 4400s, and then we'll engage the high voltage. Right now I'm on CW. And that's about 2000 volts. We can push it right up to 3000 volts without a problem. And then you can see the signal it's coming out. SWR is looking good. That's about 400 watts. Anyway, this is what she looks like. It's kind of interesting. It doesn't have a meter for measuring the plate current on the 6146s. What you're supposed to do is use the output meter to maximize the output signal with no understanding of what the plate current is. I modified the design when I built my remote power supply, and I put in a plate meter so I can keep track of the 6146s. That power supply down there generates the minus 150, plus 150, 4000 volts if you want it, 800 volts and all that good stuff. In any case, right now I got it set up for about 3705. And one of the things I did is I put a fan over top of the 6146s, try to keep them a little cool, because they tend to get hot. And I'm in a testing phase, which is why the cover's off. We don't run like this. Anyway, these are the 4400s in here. That's a 6146 cabinet. Let's see, we get the fan working on that one too. And the insides here have all been worked over. The crystal care, this has been a real big problem. All the crystal filters I got were all bad. I got a bunch of Invaders, a bunch of them. So I ended up going on eBay and buying a 9 megahertz crystal filter, 2.5 kilohertz wide, for the single sideband, because all the originals were bad. And I have a bunch of other ones sitting over here. And I had taken all the crystal filters out and tried them all, and they were all terrible. So I had to do that. Plus I also put 2 knobs on this balancing control. It makes life a lot easier. In any case, if we go to sideband, all I got to do is just go to manual, and let's see here. I should be, well, I'm talking too much. There we go. Hello. Hello test. Hello test. N4MQ. Hello. Hello. So there it is, doing its thing. It's an interesting rig. I did a lot of cleanup on it. I've had the entire thing apart and all back together. This is a funny little thing right here. See if I can get the light in there. This little window here, you have to set it to amplifier to get the right-handed side of this amplifier to work. Normally it's a 200 watt exciter, and if you're in the amplifier position, then this part will be brought into service. So it's quite a little beast. And I've worked on it a good long time, a really good long time. I put a running hour meter in here. And if you can take a look at that, between testing and running, that's how many hours I've accumulated on this bad boy, trying to get everything to work. The power supply is quite robust. It's on its own set of wheels. And I did that because the original power supply is like 60 pounds, maybe a little more. And that 60-pound power supply, plus the weight of the original rig, made it so that you just couldn't lift it all. It's 125 pounds. So now this guy's around 65 pounds, and that guy there is probably 100 pounds, because I got an enormous choke input, 50 microfarads at 4,500 volts, and it's a real big solid dude. Everything's connectorized, and it's all in plexiglass, so you can look inside and see all the works in the drawer. I don't know if you can see inside. Nope. Too much internal reflection. But all the works in the drawer are in there. So that runs on 240 volts and does its thing. And then you can turn it off. So that's my Invader 2000 story, and I'm sticking to it. It's good supposedly up to 10 meters through 80. And I basically have been using it on rag chew on 80. But it's quite the handsome little amplifier transmitter. This section over here is the RF amplifier. And this whole thing could have come out and a low voltage power supply would go in there, making this a 200 watt or an Invader 200. Over here is an example of the Invader. This is just a power supply, no RF amplifier. And you see that it's missing all the knobs over here on the right. You change the front panel, they already had the holes drilled in it in the back, so you could make it into a 2000 as a kit. Kind of crazy, but Johnson did a lot of that stuff. In any case, I'm most happy to have this thing finally working. So there you have it. Another Invader 2000 on the air. Now I have restored a Ranger, a Viking 2, and a I can't remember, Valiant. Got all those running, and now the 2000. So we'll put the cover back on this thing. We got the covers sitting up over here already painted with the fans on the back, so we'll have adequate cooling. But this is quite a nice little rig, and I've had it up to 700 watt CW output into a dummy load just to test it out. It works pretty good. So y'all enjoy. Keep repairing those Johnson units. N4MQ. This is Woody. Good day.